nakikita naman natin yan na kawawa naman si Digong, di ba? Nangangayayat na, etc. And then yung conspiracy theories, no? Effective ba to? Maraming naniniwala.
I think to some extent they are.
Ang sinasabi mo, all of this is orchestrated.
Yeah, to some extent.
And it's orchestrated by the Dutertes themselves.
The way I would make people imagine it is if we were in a room right now and we didn't have complete information about like fire happening, but you have 50 people versus 100 in a group of 100 people claiming that there's fire. You're more likely to believe, even if you don't see the fire, you are likely to believe that there is fire because 50 people said that there's fire, even if it was artificial and not really true. And that happens a lot online. It's very hard to guard against it.
You co-wrote with journalist Regine Cabato a report or an analysis on the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism website. And for disclosure and transparency, I'm on the board of the PCIJ. No? Although I didn't have anything to do with that article, right? Okay. Basically, you outlined kind of 5 strategies of the Dutertes in using online information to fend off criticism, to counter criticism of them, to counter charges, like legal charges, the impeachment, ang dami ng issues, no? About the Dutertes. What went into those conclusions na ito yung strategies nila?
There are many techniques: distraction, deflection, employing conspiracy theories. In general, we started really with the data.
Saan galing ang data?
Mixture. There were already studies before by many other newsrooms, both here and abroad, and also even platforms that revealed the takedown of these specific networks. We looked at the messaging behind them. The other part is, of course, our own earnest effort to monitor. For example, in the conspiracy theory that I looked at, I gathered around like 150 plus posts. So seeing the sort of copy-paste method, using the same image, using the same script, and then tracing all the accounts. All of these are done manually. So we start with the data first.
Are these authentic accounts or inauthentic accounts that are like basically copy-pasting the scripts?
It's a mix. Some of them are, I guess, they raise red flags. Kasi at the end of the day, we can't really determine, I can't determine and make the judgment that it's fully inauthentic. Only a platform can do it because they're the ones that have the access. But there are red flags to consider when it comes to authenticity, and we just follow the same.
So my conspiracy theory, I mean, what's one conspiracy theory?
Well, the biggest conspiracy theory that has endured for many years right now is that the political attacks against the Duterte family isn't just from the Marcoses. It's really coming from the United States via the CIA. That's sort of like their broad stroke approach, that everything that the Dutertes are experiencing right now comes from the US effort, either jailing to the ICC down to the attacks on the impeachment.
And ano raw yung nagmamotivate sa Amerika to do this?
Part of which is recognizing that the former president wasn't very keen on making US alliances. Although, again, that sort of betrays the tail end part of his presidency because he did sign the visiting forces agreement before that was over, and he did shift back to doing again arms trade with the US again. So that's one. The other thing is, of course, recognizing that there's like linkages with the family in general. That's sort of like the aspect that I'm looking at.
So they're employing all of these strategies, no? So they're deflecting, distracting, they're appealing to, victimization, victimcy. Nakikita naman natin yan na kawawa naman si Digong, di ba? Nangangayayat na, etc. And then yung conspiracy theories, no? Effective ba to? Maraming naniniwala. How can you tell? Again, I'm asking about outcomes. No? Okay, I mean, granted, some of these might be crossing the ethical line. Okay, that's subject to your judgment as well. No, but I guess yung impact could be more empirical, right? Effective ba itong mga strategies na yan?
I think to some extent they are because, for example, like the whole conspiracy against the U.S. Maneuvering and puppeteering, a large part of that parang persuasion comes from legitimate grievances na we've had. So, for example, in the Philippines, we've always had some level of experience on the U.S. meddling or allegedly meddling in our affairs as far back as our history with America, even during the American War, wherein they deployed the myth of the aswang and everything. So a large part of it really responds to persuasiveness in society. So it's easy for people who are already predisposed to believe it to say, yes, that's correct. That's an opponent that we've had before. Why can't they do this now? The other thing with the effectiveness kasi is, it's not so much that people are sort of converted by it. It's the technique that they deploy and the lack of integrity in the way they deploy it. So like a very good example for me is what we call astroturfing. It's when within a comment section of an article, you have a bunch of sock puppets or bots that crowd the comment section and artificially create some kind of narrative. And the way I would make people imagine it is if we were in a room right now and we didn't have complete information about like a fire happening, but you have 50 people versus 100 in a group of 100 people claiming that there's fire. You're more likely to believe, even if you don't see the fire, you are likely to believe that there is fire because 50 people said that there's fire, even if it was artificial and not really true. And that happens a lot online. It's very hard to guard against it. And yeah, maybe to some extent, we're not able to determine whether that's a good thing or not, or the outcome itself is effective. But the fact that they deploy it is, for me, already cause to concern.
Ang sinasabi mo, all of this is orchestrated.
Yeah, to some extent.
And it's orchestrated by the Dutertes themselves?
It's hard to say. Through a lot of research, there hasn't really been any kind of established trail to link back that the family itself is behind this. But it's pretty much known through research na they have a group of accounts and networks that really crowd against them or crowd within them and act as sort of like a first line of defense and as a first line of offense on doing propaganda online.
Okay, it's interesting to me, no, na parang there's no kind of solid line leading to them. Considering this has been going on for almost 10 years, or maybe more, no? Halimbawa, dun sa EJ case,
Yeah.
no? Whatever happened in Davao, nagkaroon ng whistleblowers.
Yeah.
Diba? More than one. That's why there's also the ICC now. I mean, may mga witness doon, no? This is another completely different operation. This is online. Of course, the EJ case happened in the real world,
Yeah.
no? Considering how long this has been going on and considering how many players are involved and how much money is in, bakit walang whistleblower? Kung totoo nga, no, orchestrated ito. Bakit nobody's come forward and said na, hey, I'm willing to talk, make me a state witness. I'm gonna blow the whistle. I'm the bagman. I paid off the trolls. I paid off all the operators online. Wouldn't that make sense?